What has been your main focus during this fight camp now that you know your opponent is Jake Hadley for UFC 274?
My main focus for this opponent, and really my main focus since my last fight, was to just go for finishes. You know, we had the last fight. I think I won the fight, and we thought, you know, we can't just leave it to the judges. And I just get caught up so much enjoying the fight that I forget that I need to enjoy the finish. I need to enjoy the kill. I just really enjoyed the fight as it is. It's a fight. I love the trading. I love the slipping. I love my opponent being there in front of me, exchanging, grappling, punches. And it's just really wonderful for me to have that experience. But I need to stop enjoying the fight and start enjoying the finish, enjoying the kill, enjoying going for that, rather than just enjoying fighting, because then it will prolong it and then the judges call it and things like that happen. So my main focus since that fight, no matter who was going to be my next opponent, was go for the finish, enjoy the finish, and have that be your goal instead of just fight hard. Of course, we're going to fight hard, but the goal is not to fight hard. The goal is to finish my opponent.
I mean, speaking of Jake Hadley, how do you feel you stack up against him? And possibly, do you have a prediction of how you think this fight will play out? Okay.
I really don't know him very well. I know he has really good volume. He's very aggressive, and he has a rubber guard, which, you know, of course, as professionals, we're training that. We're making sure we incorporate that into our camp. And I really don't have any predictions. The only prediction I could make is that it's going to be high on volume because he's very aggressive. And we both like to take center of the cage. So it's going to be really fun to see how that's going to happen. You know, I'm not really, I don't really like to have my back against the cage. I like to take the center. And I know he likes to. So it's just going to be a back and forth, butting heads, and see what's going to happen whenever we decide to pull the trigger and going for the kill.
I really would love to know, who's a fighter that you look up to that kind of inspires you, that's on the roster? It doesn't necessarily have to be in your weight class. It can be, it doesn't even have to be UFC. It can even be boxing or whatever.
Yeah, I really like Lomachenko. I don't know if you guys heard of seen Lomachenko.
But
it's wonderful.
Oh, he's
Vasily Lomachenko. Yeah. I'm a big fan of his angles. I'm a big fan of his movement, his footwork. It's just wonderful, you know, and I implement it to my sparring, my fights as well myself. You know, of course, it's a little different because I have to incorporate level changes, takedowns, and kicks, but it's great. It works awesome.
What made you take MMA instead of boxing now that you say you're a big boxing fan?
I've always liked to have the complete picture. You know, of course, boxing is really cool, very skilled, but I always wanted to make sure that I had all the tools in my arsenal. I wanted to be a complete fighter. Mm-hmm. And it was, I did striking for years, you know, 10, 15 years. And it wasn't until after that I started diving more into the grappling and realized, dang, I thought I was a complete fighter. And I need to make sure I keep testing myself to see if I am or not. So I competed in MMA and find out how well do I stack up whenever there's grappling involved. And it's going great. You know, I have been training with great grapplers. My gym is a really grappling based gym, and we have amazing wrestlers, amazing jiu-jitsu players. And I just feel very comfortable in the growth that I have come in that in grappling. And I chose MMA for that reason. I wanted to be a complete fighter. I didn't want to be a specialist.
Okay. I wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts on fighter pay? Because we've seen a lot of UFC fighters lately stand up and speak on they don't feel like they're getting paid enough. I know Tony Ferguson, he spoke on it on his recent in his most recent fight. What are your thoughts on it?
On fighter pay, you know, I don't know. I can tell you that right now, everybody would tell you that no matter what job they have, they would want to get paid more. I mean, I don't know what jobs you guys have on the side, but you could also be saying, man, I wish I could be paying more. I wouldn't be complaining. But at the end of the day, if you do it, it's because you like it. It's because you love it. Of course, you want to get paid more. Of course, you want to make a living. But you can't focus just on the pay. Let's say, you know, if somebody offered me a job right now to pay me a lot of money, but it meant that I have to quit fighting, I'm not going to take it, you know? And I can tell you that that's probably the case for a lot of the fighters in the UFC. it was like, hey, here's a lot more money, but you have to quit the UFC. They're not going to take it, because at the end of the day, it's not just about the pay. Of course, it's important, but it's about the passion that you bring. And you don't want to be dead inside. So you want to continue living that passion. We would all like to get paid more. And maybe it comes true. Maybe it happens. But as a fighter, I know my career is not going to be a long one. No fighter's careers are long. So let me just give the best that I can on the years of fighting that everyone has. And then we'll focus on the money if it hasn't paid out by then. But I have a longer life than I have a fighting career. And that's true for all fighters.
Yeah,
Well, that's very wise.
do you feel like the same UFC fighters that are complaining about fighter pay should maybe go to a different organization like Bellator or One, maybe Eagle FC now that it's opened up? What are your thoughts? Do you think it's maybe the MMA world's too difficult and that's why they just stay with the UFC?
Well, whether they should or shouldn't go to another promotion, that's really their choice. You know, they're there, they exist. And if they're reputable, then those promotions will take them. And this is when you decide what is your priority. Is your priority to make money? Because then you could be fighting amateurs every weekend, get paid $1,000. Let's say you fight once a month. That's $4K a month.
Hey, that's nice
You
little
know?
business proposition. I might put some raps on. Yeah, you
Yeah,
said
it's
$1,000
true.
a fight. Not bad.
But
No, I'm just
yeah,
messing.
but yeah, like that. So let's say you get paid $1,000 a fight, but you get 4 fights a month. That's 4K a month. So if it is about money, I'm sure you could find it. But it's not just about that. I think that fighters also care about the legacy, about the passion, or what is it that they leave behind whenever they're done. Are they going to be in the Hall of Fame? Are they going to be remembered? Are they going to be an inspiration to other people, an inspiration to the future of the sport? And I think that's where the UFC has done the best job when it comes to marketing, when it comes to exposure of these athletes, of these fighters, is because they make it a big deal. And whether the UFC is the best promotion in the world or not, you can ask different people and they will tell you yes or no, whatever. But is it the most iconic? Yes. Is it the most prestigious? Yes. And that's where people want to be. And if you're going to want to leave a legacy, that's where you want to leave a legacy.
Yeah, I guess some fighters just want the best of both worlds. They want to be able to get the legacy and the money both from one organization. And I feel like it can be possible. It just depends on who you are and who you make, what name you make out of yourself in the UFC. Because you have the platform now, you just got to go out there and perform.